Hello YouTube newsletter subscribers, this is Terral from Terral03.com. Today is Thursday, August the 1st, 2013. And this is the website. There's an hour and a half of videos here on Scripture. There's an hour and a half of videos here on 9/11. And my book, The Mystery Explained, and the book link is not here, but it's in the description boxes here. You no longer have to be a newsletter subscriber to get my books, The Mystery Explained and the 9/11 Truth Exposing the Cheney-Rumsfeld Black Operation. Giving that away for free to YouTubers. And the Project Black Star section is under construction. That's what I'm working on now. And there will be an hour and a half of videos on Project Black Star 2. The book Project Black Star is the outline has been finished. Now I'm working on it throughout the week. I expect to be done. It generally takes me 3, 4, 5 months to finish the work once the evidence is gathered, and the evidence is gathered now, and I am building the Project Black Star book. It is coming together, so eventually this will be all symmetrical. Project Black Star. I do have enough input data now to write the book, and exciting times are coming. Earth changes are picking up, and I'll be back on the radio here in the month of August for sure. This is the newsletter, the PDF, and the video link will be right here. Hope I'm pointing in the right place. This program doesn't work right sometimes. The update report this week is very interesting. This is probably the best report that I've made so far in the last couple of years, and a new understanding now. I'm gradually chewing the cud on the magnetic portal connections between the black star and the sun, between the black star and the earth, between the sun and the earth, the way they make triangles. We just made a right angle right here on July the 7th. But what I want to do is go back in time a little bit. This is a comprehensive report and lots of diagrams, and this is going to help people to understand what's really going on out there in our solar system. So we're going to begin right here on April the 6th, 2013. This is whenever we had the front side alignment. So here's the sun in the middle. Here's the earth in between the sun and the black star that's out here on elliptical orbit. Okay, so this is when it looks like one magnetic portal connection, but there are actually three. There's one running from the sun to the earth, there's one running from the earth to the black star, and there's another one running from the black star to the sun. Whenever the earth passes through, then these two magnetic portal connections actually cross. The third one running from the black star to the sun, which is why we have a hyperactivity on the near side. But there's a phenomenon that's taking place that is causing our solar flares, our electromagnetic storms, and they are going to intensify, and they're going to get worse. Okay, so let's move forward to where Earth is in orbit on May the 20th. This was an important date because this is when Earth crossed the orbit path of the black star. This is the date that we are directly in the headlights on the near orbit side. The dark star is getting nearer and nearer to us based on how fast the black star is moving. So each orbit cycle it's moving faster. So this magnetic portal connection is shortening quicker. Okay, and that causes increased electromagnetism inside our planet. The electromagnetism through this magnetic portal connection is being translated into heat energy through induction. It's being received by earth metals, and it's causing the patterns in the seismic chart. It's causing increased volcanism, methane outgassing. It's causing a lot of things with the earth changes. So Earth is crossing the orbit path, and these magnetic portal connections, the angle, note the angle between these connections, they are diverging. This line is getting farther away from this line. This line is getting farther away from this line as Earth goes to outside orbit position. So Earth is going to outrun the black star. This connection is going to stretch, as you see right here. See, look how much longer the magnetic portal connection is. That's why I anticipate And the predictive model says that we're going to have a lull period from the crossing to outside orbit. That's easily predictable, and I've been predicting it. I predicted it for the last 2 years. This is the third year, and I've been right every time. This is what helps me to know where this object is by when we cross, we have that jump in the 2.5 to 4 magnitude quakes. This year it jumped to 341. The highest value of all year takes place when the Earth is in this position right here. Okay, I had to move crossing date out because this kept migrating over to my right side, which is left in the orbit diagram. Okay, I've not been able to find a reason to move this orbit line beyond May the 20th so far, because directly after we have this jump, then everything starts to decrease, which it did up until July the 7th. Okay, so we're reaching outside orbit position. That means we make a 90-degree angle with the black star and the sun. This magnetic portal connection stretches. Okay, now let's move on to what's coming up now. Today's August the 1st. This is going to happen in about a week. Okay, you see this little red spot? This is what's happening. Note that now that the Earth is beyond outside orbit position, that these two angles, these two magnetic portal connections are now converging rather than diverging. They're not moving away from each other, they're getting closer and closer together. Same over here. But this angle right here, the dark star angle, is the smallest based upon it being outside Earth orbit. Okay, now, so what happens is that as Earth is coming around in orbit, this angle is getting very, very small. And there is conductivity between the two magnetic portal connections. This is the missing link in what can help people to understand more about what's happening in our solar system. Okay, so the angles are getting smaller. The earthquakes, we've already had 2 7-magnitude quakes since we reached outside orbit, which I'm expecting to have maybe a dozen by the time we get around to the end of October. And that would be, if we end up having 10 of these 7 to 8 magnitude quakes in this 3-month period, that's going to be more 7 magnitude quakes than we had from January all the way to July. That's what I'm anticipating is going to happen. What you're getting here is a crossfire between the connections, the magnetic portal connections, the conductivity between them. It's kind of like electric wires that are insulated. That's what I'm going to get into in all this commentary, that when this dark star is far away and has a high percentage of inactive conduits on the inside of this magnetic portal connection, they become an insulator. They're insulating the electromagnetism inside the center of that magnetic portal connection. Problem is, as this thing gets closer to the sun, this magnetic portal connection is disconnecting and reconnecting on regular cycles. Now, as that happens, a higher percentage of these internal conduits become active, and we're losing the insulation properties of the passive conduits. Same thing is going on with this magnetic portal connection. As this black star gets closer and closer to the Earth, higher percentage of the internal conduits are active, fewer inactive conduits surrounding them, means that there's greater conductivity between these two magnetic portal connections on each orbit cycle. That's important to realize. What happens is, where these two magnetic portal connections are actually touching near the black star, then you get a crossfire between the primary. This is where, between two stars, this magnetic portal connection is conducting extreme amounts of electromagnetism. Now you're getting a crossfire over to the black star Earth magnetic portal. And as this angle gets smaller and smaller, this cloud, this electromagnetic cloud, begins moving towards the sun at great velocity. And we'll see how that happens. Let's see what are my other notes on this diagram. We're moving into the headlights on the backside orbit like we did on the front side. But on the backside, we stay in the headlights a lot longer because Earth is moving kind of away, but it's moving like across the orbit path. It's moving slowly. So the effect on the backside is greater, actually. We're going to have a higher number, a higher value of those small indicator quakes when we cross directly in the headlights in front of it. But It's like shining your headlights. It's a small beam near the headlight, but it widens. That's what happens on this backside. The Earth is coming into the wide section of the headlights of the black star. And these angles are going to continue to get smaller. See what happens? As the angles get smaller and smaller, this wave rushes between the connections. Just imagine two electrodes and electricity passing back and forth. But as you move the electrodes closer and closer, you have better conductivity. And of course, there are variables, amperage, magnetic polarity strength, and things like that. But this wave is going to start moving very, very fast towards the sun, from not only from the black star position, but also from Earth position. September 15th, 2013 is going to be an important date. This is about the time which this is on the predictive model. This is what I'm predicting is going to happen. This may not be the exact date, but the exact date that it does happen, that the extra belt is going to form on the magnetosphere. That's going to give me an idea of this angle, and it's going to be pointing along this elliptical curve and tell me where the black star is. I have several of these models running, from the seismic chart, the volcanism, methane outgassing, earth changes in general, that are fluctuating 2 uptick periods and 2 downtick periods, and you can see them clearly on the Earth orbit cycle. So that's what we're doing here. This electromagnetic wave and the cross firing is helping to create the extra belt on the magnetosphere. It's also caused by the Doppler effect. It's caused by the dark star moving in our direction, the dark star moving in the sun's direction, and the internal conduits are pulsating. They're becoming piled up with these waves that are pushing through and causing the magnetic portal connection to enlarge and shrink, enlarge and shrink with the waves that are passing through. These waves that are passing through are being interpreted as by the Earth as an extra sun. As the primary magnetic portal connection is the source for Earth's magnetosphere, the extra belt that's formed is caused by the electromagnetism coming from the black star. The thing is that the energy required to create that extra belt is insufficient until we come into the headlights. And the Doppler effect takes over and these waves start stacking up, and then the Earth temporarily, for about a month, has the extra belt. This is going to happen around September the 15th. Okay, and then there's a window back here, October the 12th, October the 10th. It's somewhere in that area. Okay, but again, it appears that we have a single magnetic portal connection, but what's actually happening is the long black star Earth magnetic portal connection is crossing the other two. Now, when that happens, this area of space that continued shrinking with the converging magnetic portal connections causes an outflow of the electromagnetism that was between the portals. It's like slapping your hands together, and out comes the outflow. Some of the energy is actually being gathered up by the magnetic portal connection, like a river running by, gathering up the electromagnetism that was part of the cross firing. Okay, so there's more to with this cycle. I'm explaining what's happening up to the alignment. After the alignment, Earth's going to pass by, and we're going to have these triangles develop again, and the waves are going to start stacking up, but the angles are going to be growing. We're going to have diverging connections rather than converging, and a different series of phenomena take place on the backside of the orbit. So there's a lot of information on the black spot on the sun getting larger. This thing is going to cover half of the sun, and then it's going to cover the entire sun as the black star gets closer and closer and siphons off increased magnetism through that primary sun black star magnetic portal connection. That's what's going on. Once you understand the plumbing and the magnetism, then everything starts to make sense. So subscribe to my newsletter at terral03.com. I will put part of the commentary in the description box. You can get the rest by becoming a newsletter subscriber. So the radio shows I'm expecting to start them up at any time, and it could be sooner rather than later. I don't know exactly when it's going to start, when I'm going to start again working with Hijacker over at Revolution Radio Thursday nights. It could be tonight, it could be later. So I'll see you guys next time.